Woohoo! And we are back with our Spice Up Manifestation Hot Sauce sessions. And we are in our day 9. Welcome, everybody who is joining me today. And I just had to share that I just had the life moment, as we all do as we go through our life journey, right? There is nobody who lives the life perfect. And it's okay to embrace everything. So I usually send out the emails when I go live to bring my audience, my peeps, to the lives. And I scheduled it for today. For some reason, it didn't go out. And I tried multiple times. It did not work. But since I embrace that inner work that I'm doing, I keep myself adjusted and just not really stressing myself out. And again, talking about the fear, there is no fear that something doesn't work, because we understand that we are all human beings and things happen. So we are not actually getting upset, but rather take everything what comes our way, and just understand that everything is happening for our highest good. And that's my best mantra, that everything is happening for our highest good. And when we keep telling it to ourselves, even though in a certain situation we do not understand what really is going on, it's awesome. Hey, Wendy, thanks for stopping by. I was just sharing that for some reason I wasn't able to send out the email today, but it's great to see you. And I just wanted to say that how we actually handle any fear, right? And fear of when something doesn't go right. And I'm telling that we just have to embrace it, right? Because we are all human beings and things happen in our life. And as long as we accept it and know that everything is happening for our highest good, we can just calm down our nervous system and know that if we are just going to be stressing out, it's not going to change the outcome that already happens, right? So this is like something I just wanted to dive a little bit before going into other fears that we wanted to look at. But anything that comes in our life, and sometimes the circumstances are not preferable, we know that any situation is plastic, and it's all about the emotions that we are putting into that, right? And especially if something unfavorable happens in our life, there is no point to stress ourselves or to be upset about it, because it's not going to change the outcome. The event just happened, right? It happened, whatever happened. So for us to stress about it or be upset, it's not going to change anything. So I usually give people the tool. It's called notice what you're noticing. And in this moment, the best thing is to pause and take a few deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. And what it does in the moment when we are breathing, we are actually calming down our nervous system, and we start thinking differently rather than being chaotic and stressed out. We just focus, and we can focus our mind and shift it to something that we would rather experience, right? We can always ask ourselves, what would I rather experience? And that's exactly how we can change our focus. So let's dive back into our fears. So yesterday, just the recap, we started to talk about different fears, and we covered the three fears that commonly showing up, right? And it's the fear of unknown. It's I already forgot the fear of what was the other? Randy, can you help me out with the other two fears that we were talking about? So today we continue talking about different kind of fears, and today we are talking about fear of success. This is something that you were asking me yesterday, right? If you are afraid to be seen. So just imagine if success brought not just rewards, but also lessons and growth. So sometimes we are afraid of success. Why? Because we think, what if I'm not going to show up the way as I am to other people, right? And especially when it comes to the close family, right? Yes. the close family, for somebody like we have our friends, we have our family. What if my success is gonna be so vivid that people are gonna turn and not talk to me because I'm not gonna be the same person as I used to be? How am I gonna perceive it, right? And that's exactly when we talk about the fear of success. So a lot of people have talents, a lot of people have gifts and potential, but they do not go and move forward with that because that fear of success holding them playing small and staying where they are, because they think as soon as they become bigger, that's everybody is not going to be friends with them, people are going to envy them, and all different things might show up as that fear, right? So the idea is that just think about it. If you were successful, right? And obviously, there is that path to success. And when you take that path and you know that during that path, you're going to be having setbacks, you're going to be having the failures. But important thing is who you become in the process, right? Because through that process, you are going to grow and learn your lessons, right? So it doesn't mean that everything is going to show up and everything is going to be easy for us from the first trial. But the more we try, the more we see what doesn't work. So this way we can tweak it and see what can work for ourselves, right? So that's exactly how we accept that fear of success is okay, as long as we are not going to allow that fear to have us. Another type of fear is a fear of being judged. Again, it's very much coinciding with the fear of success, where we say that what if being judged was just an indication of your visibility and influence? A lot of times we are afraid to be seen because how people are gonna talk about us, what are their opinions gonna be about us. But I invite you to connect not to what people are going to be thinking about you, but rather what is your message, right? What do you want to deliver to the people? Because when we stop worrying about how do we look on the camera, what are we wearing, and as long as we connect to why am I there, what am I here to deliver for people, right? When you have that bigger vision of why you are there, what is your reason, what is your why, right? You know that the right people are going to connect with you and the right energies are going to understand you and are going to be with you. Because remember, it doesn't matter how amazing you are, there are people who are gonna connect with you and there are people who are gonna just don't like you, and it's okay, right? So it's all about just realizing that we cannot be everybody's cup of tea, and you wouldn't want to be everybody's cup of tea, right? Because again, people are connected to each other on the energetic level. So know that there is going to be a lot of people who in tune with what you have to share. And just think about it, that it's not good just to keep that message to yourself. Go out and deliver that message, because whatever message it is, it's important for the people who meant to hear. So I invite you not just stay in that shadow, but come out and start talking. Because honestly, do you think it was easy for me? I remember 2 years ago, I was so afraid to go live, and I would be just postponing it and thinking, okay, I'll do it next week, I'll do it the next week. But the important thing is just go and do it. Because when we go into the action step, we just lose that fear and we are just navigating ourselves through all the obstacles and whatever comes our way. And I remember for me, yes, that was the fear of, what am I going to say? What if I'm going to stumble? What if I'm not going to say what exactly I'm supposed to say? And after going a couple of times live by myself, eventually I discovered my strengths, where when I come and dialogue with somebody, when somebody is there to share the stage with me, I feel very confident. And that's exactly what I started to do. But now I decided to go out with this 30 days live because I have so much to share with the people who are here to learn and to grow and to evolve. And for me, that mission is more important than, maybe I'm not going to be perfect, or I'm not going to say everything the way I'm supposed to say, but at least I'm real, at least I'm human being. And as long as you have something great to put out there, right, people are going to understand you and people are going to connect you. So don't be afraid to be judged. Again, no matter how perfect the person could be, there's still going to be people who are going to be judging, but it has not, it shouldn't be something that worry you. Just focus on the people who are really here to listen to your message. And I hope I answer your question. Let me see. Rejection, unknown failure. Yes, that's exactly what we were talking about, right? And thank you so much for your kind words, Wendy. And like I said, the more we practice, the more we just step and face that fear and do what we meant to do, the better we become at it, right? So the idea is we befriend our fear, no matter in which area it is. And once we understand that the fear is always going to be there, but we just want to recognize it's there, but we are not going to allow that fear to have us. It's okay to have the fear, but we are not going to allow that fear to have us. So that's the most important thing. And then another fear is fear of change, right? And it's very similar to the fear of the unknown. So what if change was not something to resist, but an opportunity to grow and evolve, right? So the idea is we are still changing. We are still changing. And a lot of people just resistant to the changes. And the more you resist, that fear is going to persist. And a lot of times when people are not willing to change, the life is going to kick their butt, and like the universe, whatever the energy, right? Because we are all meant to change. So if we are not making these changes consciously, they are going to happen just as something in our life, right? People are waiting and just thinking that, okay, I'm just going to stay in this relationship, right? And then, something happens, and then you cannot just stay in that relationship anymore. Or people are saying, I hate this job, but I need my paycheck. And they are not doing anything to change their reality. And they continue working for the same employer, feeling miserable until something happens, right? And they lose the job or they get sick, right? So the idea is, why do we have to actually wait for something to happen with us if we can consciously create something what we want? And that's exactly when we talk about spice up manifestation. So manifestation, we are manifesting all the time, but a lot of people do it unconsciously. So whatever is happening in their life, they look at their life results and they think that the life is happening to them without any connection to that their thoughts and their feelings and their actions caused the results that they created. So when we start consciously creating, we understand that we have that power where we co-create together with the higher power, right? With the universe, with the life force. So we can actually create something what we want when we have that vision, when we have that direction where we are moving, right? When we have something to look forward to rather than just going through the motion, then we understand that the change is necessary, and don't be afraid of the change, right? The change is always good, whether we see it as good or we don't, it's another story. But with the time goes by, we understand that that change was necessary to push us somewhere from our comfort zone, right? So when I was in denial for a long time that I need the change in my relationship, it was just keep repeating itself, right? So this vicious cycle was coming back to me after 6 years of my marriage. So I mean, after coming back, I was married for almost 24 years. But the idea is that, like, once we hit that rock bottom 6 years ago, and then I manifested back the marriage, and then again, that cycle is going to repeat. Just remember, the cycle is always going to repeat if the changes are not going to be made. So whether we want it or we are going to be doing it forcefully, right? So the idea is embrace the change, accept the change, understand that change is always for our highest good, changes for our growth, changes for our evolvement. So when we really do that, we completely change the perception of the world around us, and we understand that we are not the victims in our life. We become the heroes, and we can handle anything what life throws at us with much better patience and understanding. And it's easier to walk through that path because we are more stronger, we are more powerful, and we know that whatever comes our way, we can handle it, right? So sometimes we cannot connect to that power that's we have all inside of us. And like I said, we only use 5% of our power. Imagine if we use another 5%, how much our life would be different. So I want you to think about like all these fears that we were talking about today, and connect to them and see. This is going to be your fun work for tonight. Reframe each fear by looking at the positive angle or potential lesson it teaches, right? Because remember, there is always the seed of good in any bad situation. And sometimes it takes time. Yes, the universe forces you to change and grow. Absolutely, Wendy, right? So the idea is embrace it and understand that in any situation, even the bad one, it's all in our perception. We are the ones to put that bad or good, right? Like I said, the situation is plastic, but it's all our perception, whether we look at the situation as a bad or good. But let's pretend in any bad situation there is a seed of good, and sometimes we do not see right away. But that's our job, not to panic, not to just, nervous, but accept it as is and know that with the time, the universe is going to show to us why exactly that situation was given in our life. So this is going to be the homework, which is just take a look again at all the fears we were talking between these 2 days, and reframe each fear and see and what you could find anything positive in each of these fear. And also think, what is the lesson that each fear is teaching me, right? Because like I said, if you are afraid to be judged, so maybe you want to become more brave and just come out there, right? Start speaking up the truth, because a lot of times that's exactly what was happening. A lot of times people are not speaking up what's on their mind because they're afraid to be judged. But the more authentic you become, the faster you're gonna manifest, right? Yes, the more authentic you become, because authenticity is even on the higher scale than love. When we talk about the emotional scale, right, and the frequency, authenticity frequency is even higher than love. So when we become more authentic, it means that we are peeling off all these layers of, the masks that we want to be loved by everybody. We want to be, just we want to make sure that everybody loves us. We want to be the people pleasers. And the more we wear these masks, the difficult it is for us to manifest exactly what we want. But the more authentic we become, when we are not afraid to speak up the truth, when we are expressing ourselves to the fullest, the more we come from that nature of being authentic yourself, the faster we start manifesting, because we are actually getting higher on that frequency. So that's it for me today. And thanks so much for joining, Wendy. It's always a pleasure to see you. And again, for everybody, please do this work. Just write down all the fears that we went through. See how you can reframe that fear and find something positive in it, and what each fear is teaching you. And step out of your comfort zone. Step out, face that fear, and it's okay to walk next to the fear, but still do something even when you are afraid. Thank you so much. I love you all, and I'll see you tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on another episode.